Route 44. This place is actually rather interesting. It's... Oh, I'm sorry for the little tag at the top of the screen. It was just that my mouse was in the wrong place, so I apologize for that. But yeah, Route 44 is sort of oval shaped, and in the middle of the oval there's some grass that can only be accessed by surfing through either a pond to the southwest or to the northeast. Now there's not much of interest in that grass, so I'm not even gonna bother going there. Well, I said there's nothing of interest. That's in Gold, Silver, Crystal, because in Hard Gold and Soul Silver, well, you could find Tangulas and Licky Tongues in Gold, Silver, Crystal as well, but in Hard Gold and Soul Silver, those two actually evolve, and those two evolutions are 2 of the 5 that can be obtained before the National Dex. I'm referring to Generation 4 evolutions, that is. Anyway, I would like to thank everyone who wished me a happy LPing anniversary with my video yesterday. I've had a lot of those wishes, so thank you all very much. Missing No 77070 even went the extra mile and made a commemorative video in honor of the anniversary, so thank you as well. And I've also had, as a gift, a shipment of Fail delivered to me by, well, I'm not going to try and pronounce his name. All I'm gonna say is that name should be allowed in Scrabble, and leave it at that. But you know who you are. Thank you very much for the rectification. The thing is that I said in the last video that only Mew, Arceus, and Giratina's origin form could achieve max stats in the Pokémon. Well, it turns out that's not true. I only checked the legendaries because I imagined that only legendaries would have 5 stars everywhere to begin with, but that is not the case. There are 2 regular and easily accessible Pokemon that can max out every stat in the Pokémon. And who are those, you ask? Sunkern and Ditto. Yep, Sunkern and Ditto. 2 of the biggest pieces of junk ever designed have been blessed with perfect Pokémon stats. Now, what were they thinking? And I'm not even saying that in regard to, you know, the fact that Sunkern and Ditto are easily accessible, and thus no one would ever use anything else if they want to win at the Pokémon. And because, you know, it's obvious that there are 493 Pokémon. So, of course, some will be completely obsoleted by others due to all the different combinations there are. But to give those 2 5 stars everywhere just makes all other 491 Pokemon entirely worthless. Well, except for those 3 legendaries, but they're so hard to obtain that, well, Sunkern and Ditto have that extra edge on them too. So, for all intents and purposes, that's all you're ever gonna see in the Pokémon. But believe it or not, that's not... Whoa! What kind of sprite is that? That is not how I imagined Bellossom would look like. The colors are all wrong. That green is like putrid. It should be a lot lighter. And I never thought that those petals and flowers would be red. Like, is it supposed to be a shiny or something? Well, I know it's not a shiny because there weren't those sparkles, but Bellossom's sprite in this game, well, I can't say it was very well made, honestly. But back to the Pokémon. The thing about giving those 5 stars everywhere to 2 common Pokemon isn't even my main beef with the whole thing. It's that, well, they're unbelievably weak Pokemon stat-wise. So you arrive in the Pokémon, and suddenly they're as fast as Rapidash, as strong as Machamp, as graceful as Milotic, as sturdy as Steelix, and they jump as high as a flying Staraptor. And we're talking about Sunkern is the Pokemon with the lowest stat total in the entire game. No one does worse. Not even Shedinja with its 1 HP does worse. Sunkern is the pits. And Ditto, well, it's one of the worst Pokemon too because of its god-awful stats. And even when you do transform into something else, you do get their other stats as well, but not HP. So you're stuck with a worse version of the Pokemon that you transformed into because of the lower HP, and on top of that, you gave them a free turn while you transformed. Bottom line, those two are two of the weakest Pokemon in the entire game, and suddenly you want us to accept that they are gods when it comes to the Pokemon, with all their stats in the Pokemon that could have some actual use in a battle, like for example, as I said, as fast as Rapidash, as strong as Machamp. You get the idea. There is something seriously wrong with that, I think. At least give them to some strong Pokemon. That would make it a little easier to buy. But that's enough talk about the Pokemon, because I've given this a lot of attention lately for a small mini-game that has admittedly very appealing prizes like evolutionary stones and the like, but that's enough talk about that. One thing I want to remind everyone, you know, just in case some of you live under a rock and haven't noticed that there's a Shaymin event going on in Platinum, well, it's a reminder that currently and up until November 8th, Oak's letter will be handed to Platinum owners via the mystery gift. So make sure you unlock the mystery gift if you haven't already, and get Oak's letter before November 8th. And after that, of course, you'll be able to go catch Shaymin, which is one of the easiest legendaries to catch, with a catch rate of 45. It's so high that, in theory, if you lower its HP in the red, and then you put it to sleep, a Dusk Ball during the night should be a guaranteed catch. Now I say in theory because I've had a little conversation with CodeZTM over at the Speed Gamers forums, and he claimed that he chucked no less than 500 Dusk Balls before catching it with a quick ball on top of that. Now, that's not 500 balls that he bought. He bought 50 of them, then threw all 50 of them in 10 attempts. Then on attempt number 11, he threw one quick ball, and he got it on the first try. But that's just to say that this isn't supposed to happen at all. All the math points to a guaranteed catch. So how could a Shaymin that's supposed to be a guaranteed catch escape 500 times? Even with a regular legendary, that would be impossible to buy, because you'd get it eventually. 500, damn! Oh yeah, a Poliwag that's 16 feet long and probably 16 feet tall as well? That's not even a Poliwrath, that's just, well, that's just a ridiculous claim. Okay, so he wants my number, and what I'm going to do from now on is I'm going to start deleting all the phone numbers that I've acquired so far, even those that give me items, and I'm going to replace them with late game trainers that can give me rematches with Pokemons at a decent level, like maybe in the high 30s. That's what I'm looking for, especially, well, those trainers on routes 26 and 27. So yeah, for that Shaymin, try to nail it with a Dusk Ball if you can, but be wary that some strange things that make no sense may happen if you try to do so. Like maybe I wonder if the problem wasn't that Shaymin's HP was too low or something. I don't get it at all. I don't get what happened. It was really supposed to be a guaranteed catch. Birdkeeper Vans. Now I remember that this guy wants my phone number as well, but there's not going to be enough time in this video to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to beat him, and after that I'm going to keep the phone number part for the next video instead. And it shouldn't take long before the next video anyway, because there are a few more subjects that I wanted to talk about, including, well, Sarah B mentioned the items that your mother can buy with the savings that you give her, which are a significant upgrade from in Gold, Silver, Crystal, so I'm going to mention that in the next video, along with other stuff as well. And I'm going to enter the Ice Cave as well, so if you like seeing me make an ass out of myself with that ice puzzle in Price's Gym, well, you're going to see more of it. Ain't that just fun?